Where are we? Oh,
there we are.
There we are. Welcome, Gloucester Township, to the GT Observer Inside Township Talk podcast.
Yeah, where we go through just basically the topics of over the last 2 weeks from the last time we did the previous one.
On the Facebook happenings of the town.
Mostly Facebook. Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't go through... sometimes I like going through Nextdoor.
Yeah.
Nextdoor is like Nextdoor. It's a pretty good topic I should bring up. I don't know if you folks are members of Nextdoor.com, but that basically you go on there and you claim your house and you put you into a neighborhood and it's like the neighborhood watch basically. It should be random photos of like some guy in a driveway who's like. And it's like, I saw this guy and he knocked on my door.
Oh.
So I called the police.
A suspicious guy.
Yeah, it's probably just some random guy who's like, hey, they delivered this package to my door and I'm just putting it here.
I'm your neighbor. I'm trying to.
Meanwhile, that guy's getting tased somewhere.
Yeah.
because the neighborhood watch cracked down on him. But
that's funny.
Yeah, that's essentially how Nextdoor works. Is Nextdoor?
So it's a modern day neighborhood watch, huh?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
If you want to find out what's going on, if you want to find out what the you're like, is that a helicopter? It's on Nextdoor.
Gotcha.
So I think I feel like it's Facebook Township talk groups for senior citizens.
Okay.
That's my take
Makes
on
sense.
it. Yeah. So, but anyway, I did not dive into Nextdoor this week. So,
all right, let's get to GT talk then. What do we have, Joe?
Yeah,
I don't know what the first topic you got going on here. Where are we?
It was like kind of a down week too. In between. So we've been covering GT Talk, all the different GT Talks. Like GT's got to have many different GT Talks, and Pine Hill Chat, Washington Township.
Yeah, some of the surrounding towns. We did have some activity go in Gloucester Township. We had some illegal trailer topics, right?
Yeah, this one. This one, like my mind, like the where people's minds are in.
Should we go to the laptop here? Or?
Yeah, hit the laptop one here. Is it illegal to have someone living in a trailer in your driveway?
Wow.
Now I'm pretty sure just the trailer alone it's really not permitted in your driveway. Like you can't have a trailer permitted.
Why can't you?
I think it is. Well, one, I think it's illegal to have a trailer in your driveway just because of it's an obstruction. Like it's.
But I thought that the trailers were only if it was on grass. Like it wasn't like if it didn't have like pavement or stone or something like that under it. I thought you could have a trailer.
Oh, you can?
On your property. I don't know. I haven't read the ordinances. I don't know what that is, but I thought that was the.
I thought it kind of had to be behind the house.
Okay.
Maybe behind the house. I don't know. I kind of thought that. I know that like a trailer sticking out down your driveway. I mean, think about it. If your neighbor has a trailer that sticks all think about like a fifth wheel trailer. I mean, that would essentially block your view down the street. That'd be kind of annoying, really.
I'll go back a little bit in time. There was a guy. So a street is a public area, right? Mm-hmm. You can park on the street. You can A trailer is permitted if you have it registered or whatever. You're allowed to drop a trailer on a street. If it was not saying it's a mobile home, but just say it's a, I don't know. You have
Like a tractor trailer kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or any kind of
like
trailer.
lawn equipment or
Okay,
whatever on it. You could drop that and then go run to 7-Eleven or whatever, come back for it. It's allowed to stay there. There was a guy at one point in time in Gloucester Township, if you went on GT Talk back in the day, that was taking this mobile home and he was putting it at people's houses, just dropping it there and then leaving it for like a week. And then coming back and picking it up and going back. It's a public road. You're allowed to drop it there. You know what I mean? On your own property, you're allowed to have a RV, you know, or trailer, whatever you want to call this thing. What you were not allowed to have was a trailer that was like on grass, like that it was allowed to park on grass. So they were saying, oh, you have the trailer parked on grass. You need to have it on like a pavement or stone. That's what I recall. I don't know what you recall or whatever you read, but I do remember that was a problem. That was brought up.
Also can't have it. I think you also can't have it like in your driveway, protruding out the front of the house. I think it has to be behind the house.
It could be.
I know. I know. Like when I used to live in Pennsylvania, that was kind of the rule out there too. Was like it had to be behind. It had to be behind the house, driveway wise. Like your driveway ran behind your house. You were fine parking it there, but it couldn't stick out before that, or they would kind of give you a fine. But it really goes into like you kind of have to think of your neighbors when if you park essentially a massive camper in your driveway.
Yeah.
And your neighbor now like basically can't when they look out their window, all they see is their front lawn and your trailer.
Yeah.
It's just a part. It's a part of living in a suburb like we do here. If you live on a couple of acres, I don't think that you park whatever.
I totally see what you're
whatever
saying.
You want, but if you're in a situation where like my house on one side is probably 36 foot from the end of my house to the house next door. So, if I do crazy stuff in my driveway, it's gonna block their view of the street.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a
Why don't you mind your own business though?
Well, I was scrolling through the comments and I was like, who cares? Some people need to worry about themselves. And it was like, yeah, my whole street's full of violations, but we don't give a crap because it's none of our business. And then some people, they'd rather some people be homeless. And the other people are like, who cares? Yeah, look, my thing is, if you live in a closed area like this, we're pretty jammed in. We're pretty close together to each other.
Yeah.
Getting more so actually now as we're building some more. You kind of got to be respectful of the rest of the people on your street. And I'm all for like, look, if I had the land, I would say let me do whatever I want to do on my own land. I
don't know. I'm kind of torn on this whole thing here. Like, no matter if you have the ability to have multiple acres to have that, or if you only have like a quarter of an acre and you have a trailer or a RV of whatever. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the correct terminology is, but if you wanted to like stay in there for a week, 2 weeks, or if you had a family member come over, what is to stop you? It's your property, right? You're paying property taxes on this. I understand that your neighbors might be irritated that you are living there. However, it's your property, or it's on a public street that you're able to do that. Like there's a time and a place for the government to come in and step in and infringe on whatever it is that you're doing, or to tell you what you can and can't do. But I don't know if this is the place or not. What? What's going on over here?
Dog is driving me nuts.
Oh, you're just... Gracie's fine. Leave the dog alone.
Running in circles. That's all I can hear.
But I know. So there's a street. It's what is that? Marshall Ave. If you went off of the Black Horse Pike and you followed it, it goes down around Blackwood Lake, and there are like 3 or 4 houses that are back there. That there's a physical house, but then there in front of it there are mobile homes, and then there are mobile homes in the driveways that are all down the street over there. I don't exactly know what the heck's going on over there, but there's like almost a community of people that live there. But again, it's the house. It's on their property. It's on a public street. There's a lot of different things that, like, I wouldn't want the government to come. If I'm on the public street expressing, say if I'm holding a sign outside that says, like, whatever, like, the grass is green. I wouldn't want somebody to come and infringe on my right to say the grass is green. Just like I wouldn't want them to come and infringe on my right to have a RV that's a domicile. Like, I go back to that whole Breaking Bad episode where what's his name was trying to break into the thing, and the guy from the yard comes out. He's like, "Are you trying to break into that?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to get into this trailer." And it's like, that's a domicile. You know, like, if someone lives there. Who are you to tell me what's? I don't know. It's a fine line. So I'm not sure exactly what I think.
And that's mostly how I feel. Like if I had the property, I'd be like a racetrack in my yard if I could, right? You know, I always thought, like, it'd be good. It'd be nice if we had like an ATV track in the backyard, and then swimming pool. I do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right.
But I wouldn't do that in the neighborhood that I live in, because there's just an expectation when I move into the neighborhood that I live in.
That's a norm, not a right. You know what I mean? Like, if you have the right to do it, you can do it. It doesn't mean that your neighbors would be your best friends because you're doing it.
Right, and because I live in the area that I live in, I realize I want my neighbors. I want to respect my neighbors, and I want them to. I don't want them to think badly of me, and so I'm not going to do anything, and I expect the same from them.
Yeah.
But if I lived anywhere that I had an acre or two, or maybe like 2 or 3 acres or something like that, where I could be a little more liberal about what I do on my property. If I have a camper, and I have like in-laws over, and they're from out of town, and I don't have the space in the house, I don't see a problem with them spending the weekend or the week in the camper. But if you have somebody that moves into a camper, like into your property for months at a time, I'm not really great with that, because it's kind of, if it's in the front, I don't like if it's in your backyard.
Yeah, I know. I totally get it. I totally understand it.
But I think the question in your driveway. So another group of people living in your driveway in a trailer. I don't know, man.
Cousin Eddie shows up. Don't go falling in love with it now, Clark. When I leave here next month, I'm taking it with me.
Oh man, his favorite character, and probably likes like
any movie.
Like any movie, favorite character. But my thinking on that, and I scrolled through the comments, and I was like, man, there's so many people. Here's the thing, like I'm on the side of the people that are like, who cares? It's my property, But at the same time,
it's
I'm also like, I'm also
you're
a
like
neighbor.
that until it happens to you, right?
Yeah, like I also have neighbors, and I've had bad neighbors before, and I was like, all right, at some point, it gets out of control. It gets out of control now. Luckily, my bad neighbors moved. I got some new people moving in. They were already in, and it's a good time. They're fixing the place up over there, so I'm super excited. Cool. I got no more bad neighbors left on my street, so hopefully folks don't either. I'd like to hear some bad neighbor stories too.
Yeah, That would be good.
I would like people to reach out to us with some bad neighbor stories if they could.
All right, what else we got here? We got some.
It's May. May's Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month.
It is.
So, look, they're hard to see. This is kind of me hijacking a little bit. It's a personal thing for me. It's me and many of my friends look forward to this time of year. We pull our motorcycles out from under covers. We get on them, we ride them, and it seems like every year. It seems like every year that somebody we know, somebody in a group that we belong to, winds up getting hit and injured or killed. And recently, this had happened. So this was from the patch. This happened.
That's a bad picture there, man.
In Gloucester Township.
Accident.
Yeah, this is I don't know what the outcome of this was. I saw it on several of the motorcycle Facebook groups that I belong to. This particular picture was posted by Gloucester Township Police Department. I know the victims of this were sent to the hospital in serious condition, but I don't know what happened to them. But man,
that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of just this goes on to this goes on to the whole thing of like paying attention. It's really kind of a. We talked about this before in other episodes. Like people just blow lights here. It's like it's
being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the traffic lights. Stop being in such a rush.
I think it's funny because the last week we all my wife and I did and you did trivia at House of Brews, and I told her, I said, hey, go meet Keith there, and then I'll catch up with you. And on my way there, two people as I'm waiting at red lights and as lights turning green, like two people blew through red lights at different red lights, and I was like, it's every time. I feel like it's every time I go to Sickleville Road at Garwood Road, somebody blows that light.
It's like everywhere though. I mean, anywhere you go in town, I sit at lights all the time in town, and almost any time if you're sitting at the beginning of a light and you can see that it's changing yellow and then it's going to go red, somebody blows through the light. It's amazing.
It's like dead red, and they just and they fly through. But it's like, and when I have people visit from out of state, they're terrified when they get here, and they go, "It's so bad," and it's not.
We're used to it. We're used to what to expect out of it. With somebody coming from out of town, it's definitely crazy.
It's funny, and I was sharing this with my wife the other day because we were talking about it the other day on the way home. I think it was actually on the way home from trivia this week. We were talking about how bad it is, and she said, because she's not from New Jersey, she's originally from Maryland. I met her in Pennsylvania, but when we got married, she had friends come out here,
right?
And they were like, when they drove with her, they go, "Oh, Stacey, you've really got a really heavy foot now," and she goes, "You have to, have to survive here."
Yeah.
And I said,
oh my God,
it's so funny that when I left New Jersey, and I was super aggressive driving. When I got out, I went to Central PA, so like 2.5 hours west of here, middle of nowhere, and I drove up on the wheel. And when I hit turns, you could hear the tires, man, because I was getting all of it, right? And then people were just moving out of my way all the time, and I didn't realize that I was such an ass out there.
Yeah.
And then years and years of living out there, and I lived out there for 10 years, and several years into it, when I would come back to New Jersey, before I met my wife, I was dating somebody else, and we would visit my parents, and then occasionally she would want to drive, and when she would get closer to Philadelphia, it was like she's honking at everybody, right? And I was like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "They cut me off," and I go, "That's how they drive here."
Yeah, right.
That's how they drive here. And I was like, and we honked at like 20 different people, and I was like, "You're gonna get a shot. Like, stop."
Yeah.
But then I noticed when I would drive back to here to visit, I was like tense, and I was like, "They're crazy here."
Yeah.
Now that I've been back here for like 8 years now. I've been back, and I'm used to it again. So it's just it's the way that I do it.
It is. It's crazy though. It's like I had a farm out in Oregon. I would go out there often to tend to things, and so Route 5 goes down the coast on the West Coast. We have 95 here, right? So if you take 5, there's people are doing like 50 miles an hour, and you're driving down there, and I'm used to like 90 miles an hour, like. It's such a different pace of life, right? Like so I have a the axe throwing place that I own in Cherry Hill. Yeah. We have a lot of tournaments where people from out of town come. They come from Canada and whatnot, right? So there was literally this past tournament that we had. Somebody had pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike, and they did a video of themselves, like a TikTok, and they're like showing her like their hands like this, like. I'm in New Jersey. I'm on the turnpike, and I'm doing 80 miles an hour, and people are passing me. Like I'm on the left or the right lane, and they're flying past me at 130 miles an hour. Like, yeah, that's Jersey. Like we don't even think of it anymore of like how in a rush we all are around here versus other parts of the country where it's not as rushed for some reason. This area is such hustle and bustle, and it's just like
it is.
I would fly out there. It would be the most peaceful thing to just land in Portland and just go down, and you're driving through like, all right, I'm heading to Estacada, and you're just going 50 miles an hour. Like there's no rush if you want it to be. But here, for some reason, you're like, I don't care if it's 50 miles an hour speed limit. I'm doing 90. You know what I mean? It's just that's how we do it.
It took me years after I moved out there to realize that like there's this. If I went for a pizza where I used to live, it was at least probably 25 minutes to get to the pizza place.
Yeah,
it was nowhere near where I lived, but there was sometimes like if I was really hungry, I would just race there. But other times, I would just kind of lose myself in the drive because there was no traffic.
Yeah,
and it was just like this zen kind of like just cruising. Just look at noticing things around you. So, and I get like that sometimes when I'm on my motorcycle. Like when I'll take it out to like Batstow, I'll just
until a car comes and just nails you.
Well, yeah, I'll be like in like a 50 mile an hour zone. And there's no cars around, and I'm just like 35, just loving it. And next thing I know, like a car blows by me and scares me. I'm like, oh, I gotta get back. It's in Jersey. Yeah, I can't do this now.
Crazy.
So, man, it's look, but I guess. The most we could ask here is
be aware.
You're still gonna speed. We're all gonna speed, but man, just pay attention. Put the phone because that's the thing that gets me the most is like when I look when you look at that car and you're like and you see the light of the phone, and you're like, come on, man, just put it down. Like every modern car has something in it.
Yeah,
that has Android or Apple that you can connect where you can basically just respond to text messages by text.
Yep.
And then I don't know.
Oh,
next up on the list here is this thing here. This is
roll call.
This is a serious deal. This is a really serious deal.
It is, yeah.
So OPRA, Open Public Meetings Act, is Open Public
Records
Act. Is if you want
any document from the government that you want, we have the right to have, right? That's basically what.
Yeah, you can put a request in for it if you want to find out if there's construction going on with something and you want to know like what the costs were or what the bids were that were put in. You can request any of that information, and. Essentially, somebody here in New Jersey thought that it was a good idea to maybe limit the public's access to this in the name of, well, this costs us a lot of money. So if we limit to what you can do now with OPRA, we're going to save you tax money.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever lived in New Jersey for more than a month, you realize we're not really good at saving money here in New Jersey.
No.
I think are we still number one most taxed state?
I think we are. Yeah, I just read something where if you live in New Jersey, over the course of your lifetime, you are more than likely going to pay more than $1 million in the course of your life in taxes.
Yeah.
Even New York was like $700 something thousand. It's by far the most ridiculous state to live in as far as taxes go.
So we're not good. We're not good. And honestly, we need more people to do OPRA requests to find out where all the money goes.
Yeah.
So essentially, what they did was they put this bill up here to change how we do OPRA, and unfortunately, our local representatives here. So this went through the Assembly and the Senate.
Yeah.
So Senator Moriarty voted yes to change OPRA, and then for the Assembly side, Assemblyman Hutchinson, formerly Councilman Dan Hutchinson, and Cody Miller, who is our new assemblyman.
Now, both Dan and Cody said that they would come on this podcast when I talked to them before about this. So I'm hoping that they will still come on this podcast and give their explanation as to why. I know you have gone out to Twitter and Facebook and every other medium and asked, like, hey, will you guys explain the reason why you voted yes to limit public access to our documents? It's basically our documents. We're the top of the organizational chart here, and they're saying no, you're not allowed to have access to whatever it is that we have. Why do we do that? Why did we vote that?
To the point where you could get sued.
Yeah.
For asking for too much. Basically, that's what's kind of crazy. And so I brought up on the web here.
If you go to our gtobserver.com.
Yeah, gtobserver.com, go to GT links, and I clicked on, if you live in GT, you are represented by a group of people. So at the U.S. House of Representatives, Congressional District 1, that term ends, by the way, in December. Your representative is Donald Norcross, and you all know the Donald Norcross name, but when it goes down to, Legislative District 4, we are Legislative District 4, you've got Senator
LD4, yeah.
Yeah, Paul Moriarty, and then for Assembly, Hutchinson and Miller.
Yep.
And then we go down, we kind of get down below that, and I listed, but basically I listed all their contact information. So if they have a Twitter account, Facebook account, an email account, or a link to like the website that talks about them a little bit, I've listed all that, and whatever I could find here. If there's more, you could definitely reach out, and I'll add it to the here. But when this goes down
Jeffrey
to
Nash, yeah,
county commissioners, county clerk, the mayor, our councilman, the solicitor, our business administrator, Beetlejuice, they're all there. So they are. Yeah. Look, when these people vote on stuff like this, it's. Look, I ask, hey, can you give me some comment on why you voted yes on this? And I reached out to our representatives, and I feel like I set higher standards for some of the Republicans that are here, because that's kind of one of the things that they run on the most. It's like kind of like freedoms and smaller government, and I just kind of look at them as the watchdogs. So all the Republicans that
in New Jersey,
yeah, they kind of suck in New Jersey when it comes to Republicans. But I reached out to Republicans all over the state that voted yes on this, and I asked, can you give me an opinion on why you voted yes on this? And so far, 0 people at all in any of these positions have responded back with a comment on why they voted yes on this. And I think it's something that we should follow up on. I think it's something we should keep pressing on.
How many do you have? Where's the list? Pull the list back up again here. Who do we have? Who voted on this, Joe? Can you blow that up at all? Or?
Yeah, it's probably.
What are the different colors on here? What's the? Does that mean anything?
Yeah, the reds.
REP. DEM.
The Reds are Republicans.
What did Don Guardian vote? Where's he at?
So the yeses are on the left-hand column here. Reds are Republicans, blue are Democrats.
Oh, he voted no. I see him over there lying.
So yeah, he did a good job. He voted no to change it, to
Atlantic City.
keep it like it is. And I reached out to our
Dan
representatives
Hutchison,
here.
Gloucester Township, LD4. I see it right there. Voted yes.
Yeah.
He'd like to restrict our access to public records. Okay, interesting.
And and I reached out to him and Cody Miller.
Oh yeah, there's Cody too. On row
And then
4.
and then everybody else in red here. I actually reached out to all of them and asked them why they voted yes. And I have not gotten any comments yet on them.
It's very mixed. I'll say that. There's a good amount of Democrats in the no column, and there's a good amount of Republicans in the yes column. It's not.
It is. It's definitely not a partisan issue. Is all that much? I mean, there's definitely 35 Democrats voted yes, 7 Republicans voted yes. On the no, 18 Republicans voted no, 8 Democrats voted yes.
Okay.
8 Democrats voted no. So it's definitely more of a Republican thing. So that's why I leaned hard on the Republicans to say, "Hey, give me some answers on why you thought this was a good idea to change this." And I think since this screenshot was taken, some other people that were not voting have voted, but
are they able to change their vote at that point?
Somebody actually did change their vote recently.
Really?
It wasn't one of our representatives, but I did on that Twitter post, I did tag them. Like I did tag Cody Miller and say, "Hey, you can change your vote. Here's your chance to do the right thing." And Cody Miller didn't
take the bait.
Did not respond or anything like that. So, I don't know. But if any of those representatives would like to come on the podcast, I would absolutely love to interview these guys. It would be, and I want to hear their stories. I don't want to bash them, and and kind of attack them on anything. I want to hear their stories. I really want to know what their thinking is, because maybe it's something that we're not thinking of. Maybe there's an angle that we're not seeing.
No, and it's very true. I mean, a lot of times the media, will say, pumps something up to be a bigger issue than it actually is, and just for the sake of clicks and and everything else. So that is possible.
Well, there's
I understand what they're saying, when they argue the whole save you money kind of thing. At the same time, when it comes to people's rights and the right of access and the transparency, I don't care what it costs us, because you as the government should not be restricting someone's access to even necessitate the need for the attorney fees that are going into it, or the lawsuits that accompany you restricting somebody from access. I can't say too much here, but I know that there are tens and tens and tens, dozens of thousands of dollars that are spent because we did not want to give someone the answer that they asked for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how many hours of lawyer fees at $400 or $500 an hour is it necessitate to keep that bit of information from the public? Because you're embarrassed by it? I don't give a flying F that you're embarrassed by it. Sorry, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
because they have the right to that access. So if you're going to restrict them from that, that's your fault for doing that. That's not the public's fault. We're not costing the public money that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. And my
be
thought
transparent.
Too is,
you don't have to pay that money.
Yeah, I think about it. I think there are probably people out there that just make just endless Oprah requests because they want to investigate everything.
That's fine.
And they've got somebody. Well, they've got somebody in the clerk's office who spends their entire day just getting these requests and filling these requests. But at the same time, on the last podcast, we talked about police policy, and you asking about police policy, and they said, so they went and scanned you a stack of papers this big, and they sent it to you, rather than just having that policy online.
Right.
So if all this if most of the information that people were looking for was just readily available in a database that they can search. Like, I work for a law firm, and
sorry to hear that.
If we have, I don't deal with lawyers. I don't talk to anybody. But we have a document management system, and if we want to search anything, it's there, and it brings the document up.
Yeah.
If we had that kind of transparency,
but we don't want to be transparent. That's the problem.
The public could just look it up, and then we're not paying somebody to do it. Look, we do a one-time fee of setting some kind of system up where people can actually not request this stuff, but just search it
themselves, yeah,
and get it. Like, I can't even search our meeting. I can't even search our township council.
No, we've gone over this before too. We literally intentionally, our PDF documents are not searchable documents.
They're not searchable.
They're saved in a way that you cannot find them online.
An image that is not.
It's insane.
It's OCR is when it converts it to words, which would make it searchable. Ours are not searchable, and it has
to be intentionally done that way.
Look, I was making searchable PDFs 20 years ago. Right? So it's possible. So I don't want to hear that you have to pay, that we were costing us all this extra money when you could make transparency a thing. And you just chose not to. So it's
my God.
It's BS.
Speaking of that, I think it was on the last podcast, but we had the NPP program where they had the amount of money that they were going to be spending. Mm-hmm. I think they're spending like something like $20,000 on the NPP website this year, like support for updating it. Like, what the F are you updating on that site that costs that much money? Seriously? Somebody that's getting paid $30,000 additional on top of their salary should be able to log into WordPress, literally the simplest website thing out there, and be able to click like add to post or add something on there. Really? That's what we're spending money on? Oh, that's because it's a pay to play vendor, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Most of this stuff is $30,000 to update a website. And it's funny because I was just somebody just reached out to me that said, "Hey, you still do websites, right?" Because I don't know, man.
Yeah, $30,000. I'll get updated for you.
15 years ago, I was doing websites for people, and somebody said, "Yeah, you're still doing websites, right?" A friend of mine bought like airplanes and stuff, and they're doing like charter flights, and they're like, we need a website for our business. Can you do one for us? I was like, yeah. And they go, what do you usually charge? And to be honest, I don't think I've ever charged anybody that I know for a website. I'm just like, you want a website? I'll build you one because I want you to I want you to succeed.
Right.
And I was thinking I've never charged anybody before but I've worked at places where they've paid people to do websites.
Yeah.
And they're like, $30,000, $60,000 for basically WordPress sites, and I was like, man, that's just. And then
I could quit my job and make this one website and be done.
I could probably I could take off a good portion of the year just doing your one website over a weekend and getting $60,000 for it.
It's insane.
No, yeah, it is. I'll probably wind up doing. They don't watch our podcast. I'll probably wind up doing that stuff for free just because, whatever. But speaking of websites. There is the
GT.
I did
Save GT.
I did a little bit of work here on the GT website, and this is one of the coolest things. So we got the SaveGTMUA.com. So we got a website here, and got a little bit of stuff on here. So if you want to get a sign for your front yard, click on the Get a Sign link. Takes you to a form here. You can fill out the form.
Yeah, you fill out the form and somebody will drop a sign off to you. You don't have to worry about giving your name or anything else like that, but you just put that on and we can drop it off.
Let you know who, they got some articles in here, who benefits from the GTMUA. We've got the minutes from some of the meetings that we had here. And I want to thank some of the volunteers that have worked on this site, because this is kind of like At some point, fighting against this machine gets a little bit too
God.
much. So
does it get tiresome?
When somebody reaches out and they're like, "Hey, I saw you got a website here. It doesn't really have all the information on here. I've got a lot of ideas on what I wanted to do." I couldn't agree fast enough to say give them access. Let them put some stuff up on there. So, to the folks that have volunteered, I really appreciate what you've done on there. This is, it's a community-driven project here to save the MUA. And GT Observer is basically a community-driven project.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, we're the face of it, right? Because that's just how this podcast kind of thing works. But there's so many people behind the scenes that feed us information, help us with different things, send OPRA requests in, are doing budgets and all kinds of things. And Joe and I are just we're the two guys here just talking to you guys and trying to bring more people involved. Our reach has grown a little bit over the time, but we need more. We need you guys to get out there and tell your neighbors. We need you to let the person next door to you knowing, hey, guess what? Your sewer bill might be 3 times higher than what it is now per month. We need you to have a sign out there to let people know. So that's where this website comes in. People are out there helping us in this, and we need you guys to help us as well. So
they have some more signs, right? I think
they have got more signs. Well, actually, so they had a limited run of signs, and as things progress in this whole process, messaging has come out differently than what it was before, and terms are kind of different. So some of the verbiage might have changed, and they're kind of reacting to that. So from what I understand right now, the Teamsters have printed, I think there's 200 of these signs currently that are out there in Gloucester Township. They have new ones that are coming out. I don't exactly know what they're going to say, but I know that other messages on those signs are going out there. So it's not just a save our, how would that say? Save our sewer? Or I forget the exact wording of that one. But each one's going to have some kind of a different, messaging that's all the same thing as basically, don't sell our sewer utility is what it said. Yeah. But the next one might say something else. Save our sewers or whatever the case is. Either way, we just need you guys to help get the message out. We don't exactly know how the wording on the referendum is going to be worded, right? So we can't just say no, because no might actually mean yes with these slime balls, Because
the question could be, would you like to retain the sewer,
right?
In Gloucester Township? And of course, then the answer would be yes. So we don't know how they word it, and I read into something before about they hire people to write these things.
Oh, absolutely, 100%,
go on these ballots,
that
know how to formulate these things, so that they are somewhat confusing. So
the intention is 100% to confuse you on that answer, and I can almost guarantee that it's going to say yes is what you are going to want to vote. However, there's a few of us here that also believe that it's not even going to mention the sewer utility whatsoever. It's just going to say something around, do you think paying down the debt would be a good thing in the town? Or something along those lines. Like something
it's gonna be really, really positive
obscure. Spin, and you're like, how can you say no to that? I'm going to vote yes. I'm just going to blindly vote yes and give them the power to go do that. And then our town is, going to say, our Beetlejuice up there is going to, the people in this town voted, yes to sell this thing. Okay.
Well, yeah, that was one of the latest posts here that someone we're very, very familiar with, Denise Coyne here, posted that we were kind of at the last council meeting, we were kind of gaslit to say,
we're always gaslit, yeah.
Look, we don't necessarily want to sell this thing. We want to find out what it's worth.
Oh yeah.
That's all we wanted to do. We have no idea what it's worth. So if we dissolve the MUA and we cut some jobs and we call it a sewer utility now we can finally find out what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question kind of becomes like, all right, well, what about the people that lost their jobs because you just wanted to find out what it was worth?
Yeah.
And now you have all these folks that are kind of like, they're like, well, I wanted to go to Disneyland, but I don't know if I'm going to have a job soon. So maybe, so now the next few months for these folks is going to kind of be like, I don't know if I have a job.
Yeah, I mean, how
year.
crappy is that?
So it's a really crappy, it's a really crappy situation to not know what your future's going to be. So I feel for those guys. I feel for all of us too that are probably going to have to hit this extra amount of money that we're going to have to pay if this goes through. In our last podcast, we talked about the cost differences on what this could be. This could wind up being, right now we pay about $185 a month. I guess somewhere around $185.
Not a month, a year.
Yeah, that'd be rough. $185 a year, and we saw.
I don't know, is that right? Even?
Yeah, it's $185. It's $46 a quarter.
40. Yeah.
So $185 a year. But then we did see the other municipalities that have already switched over. They're at like $500 or more a year.
Yeah.
So
a lot more.
So that's the big topic. I mean, that is the big topic here. And look, there's not any current meetings that are in the works to talk about this a little bit more. So I would say bookmark savegtmua.com. And
you guys should subscribe to us here. Go onto our Facebook account, GT Observer. Our YouTube is at Restore Glowtwip, GLOTWP. And just follow us here. We're constantly talking about this kind of stuff for you guys to stay up to date and be able to inform your neighbors of what's going on. It's all it's all we're here to do is just inform you guys.
I'm like getting crappy ads on our website, and I can't. They're just
I don't know. Joe did something to our website. He's trying to get 17 cents over here, so he put ads on.
It all costs money. It all costs you money. It's like,
it does, yeah.
I put a couple ads on there. get a couple dollars just so that pays for the hosting and everything else. And there's ads everywhere. I gotta go figure that out now.
Yeah.
But look, but back to one of the most positive things that come out of this is the folks that have stepped up and said, I want to help out. I love the work that was done here on that website from the person that reached out to help.
Yeah,
absolutely love it. I'd love to see more of it. I'd love to see more content on GT Observer from people that just
it's great to see people from the MUA, the former MUA, coming out and standing up. I mean, how many times have we talked about township employees like just being loyal, blind employees, like voting the way that they think that they're supposed to be voting? And these guys are actually saying, wait, hold on. Something's wrong here, and these guys are right. Let's all join forces here. It's hard to fault someone for trying to stick up for their own job, kind of thing. But at the same time, we've gone over this before. Like if say you were elected at the last cycle for council, does that mean somebody lose their job because of you? No, that job still needs to get done. It's just a false belief that people have out there. Like
this probably wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah.
Had the election gone the other way, this probably wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah, it would have behooved them to not vote for the current administration.
In fact, if the last two elections had gone the way that I had hoped,
yeah, right, yeah,
this would have never even happened.
Yeah,
because we'd have had a completely different people set of people up on there, but
instead, here we are.
I really like what's happened with the community and the people that are getting involved. This is something that we've just asked for
it's just people to wake up and
years.
Open your eyes. Look what's going on around you.
Help out, because there's some burnout from the people that are involved currently that are there at council meetings every week.
Oh, absolutely.
Ask questions. The folks are burning out, and I get the frustration from them Myself, I've kind of burned out from it. Like I don't go. I used to go to every single council meeting. Now I watch it at home while I'm doing other things because there was things I was putting off when I was doing all that stuff that that were kind of affecting myself, relationship at home and stuff like that.
Work-life balance.
When we start taking away all this different time to go do politics stuff, because you're trying to do it for everyone because nobody else is involved. You try to put too much on your shoulders, and it burns you out. And I know some of the folks that have done this for years and years and years, and even some of the people that have moved away that are still kind of involved. We gotta help those people. We gotta help those people out because they need it. And look, you need it too. You need the help, but you gotta get involved. So
even it's as simple as going to the website and click. Here's the button to put my address. Drop me a sign off.
Yeah, put a sign up.
You literally don't have to do anything else other than offer your lawn for a sign to send a message to people. That at least they see it and say, what the heck is that about? Let me Google that. Let me go on Facebook and ask, what's this sign? What is this about? That's all we're asking. Just allow everyone to put the message out.
Yeah, it's funny. The guy that I hired, this guy that's he's a big advocate for GT. Mm-hmm. And I hired this guy to do like lawn treatments on my lawn because I totally suck. Like I can mow my lawn, I suck at making my lawn work. But I hired this guy to come in and do treatments on there to make my lawn better. And the first thing he says when he gets out of his car, he sees my don't sell the sewer utility sign, and he goes, "It's a nice sign, but why don't all your neighbors have the same sign?" I go, "I bet they don't even know about it." He goes, "We got to change that. We got to change that." And I thought, that's ultimately what I want to see. I want to see every single house in Gloucester Township that believes in this, that have a sign in their front yard. Like,
and their neighbors.
If you believe in this, if you believe that we shouldn't sell this thing, and then we shouldn't give our mayor some kind of bonus because he sold it off to the company that he works for, then you should have a sign in your yard. Mm-hmm. So my thought is when I drive past a house that doesn't have a sign in the yard, they don't know about it yet. Or they do. Or hey, maybe we make some signs that say sell the sewer utility. That way we can mark those people and they can put it in their yard. They can express their opinion.
It's funny you say that. During election time, for the past 2 or 3 cycles, I've wanted to make a Google Maps thing of every house that has the mayor or the other machine candidates out there to say, here you go. If you have a problem in Gloucester Township of what your taxes are or whatever else you want to complain about, here are the houses to go talk to who supported these people in office. I haven't actually done it. I started it, but I haven't made it public, but it is something I'd love to put out there. It would be great. It's just like where are the Christmas tree lights? Let me pull up the map for that. Oh yeah, let me go to this house.
Yeah.
Here. No, but when some people want to complain, here you go. Here's the map. Go. Egg these houses. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. Back to the election, like the guy across the street from me, he put up the opposing team's signs in his yard.
Oh yeah, he work for them?
No, he grew up with one of the public works guys.
Okay.
Who's very influential in the township. He grew up with that guy, so that guy asked him, "Can you put these in your front yard?" Okay. And he's like, "All right." So I saw.
So out of fear, basically.
I saw, and he had mentioned to me before, "Hey, I'm trying to get a job over there at Public Works over in Gloucester Township," and I was like, "Oh. No." Oh. And then I saw the signs out front one day. I get up in the morning, and I walked into my hallway and just look out and see what's going on. And I went, "What the?" And then as soon as my wife woke up, I go, "Come here, look at that." And she goes, "What? Oh my God!" And I didn't say anything. And I love this guy. This guy's the greatest neighbor ever.
Yeah.
And I'm outside, and I was like, "Yay!" And he goes, and he points right to the side, and he knows, he knows. He goes, "Hey, Let me talk to you a little bit. So he goes, look, they asked me if I could. They don't know how I'm going to vote. This is what I'm doing. Like, this is like, I'm friends. And I was like, but deep down, that was one of the most hurtful things out of the entire election.
Really?
It happened. Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Across the street. So, kudos to the guy that talked him into it because, hey, look, it hurt. It hurt. But but yeah, it's one of those things where every time I see.
Could I guess the name of who talked him into it?
KB.
Yeah.
KB. But yeah, so I feel like that's how it should be. Like for sewer, you either have don't sell it or sell it signs on everybody's lawn.
Yeah.
And then everybody that doesn't have one, that's a house that you have to go to.
Yeah.
And you knock on the door and you go, hey, do you want to sell this or not? And they go, no, I don't. Of course I don't.
The problem is,
who's
who's going to do that?
And I go,
you and I are going to do it?
You don't want to sell
other
it?
people that do stuff all the time?
I got a don't sell sign. And if they go, no, I think we should definitely sell this.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one of those in my car, too. Put that right here. Now I know.
We're going to mark you down.
I'm going to mark you all
How
down.
am I marking you down? Are you good? Or you selling? Or you holding on?
Yeah, look, you need a sign on your yard one way or the other. Tell us how you feel.
Yeah.
This is
Which way do you think Tom Cardis' sign would say? Would say sell or is his going to say something different? We just need to know the value of it. The people deserve to know the value.
I'm back and forth with that guy because I thought weeks ago when he was specifically saying that there are services that we currently offer right now that won't be available to people if we sell.
Yep.
And I thought, I wonder if that guy deep down knows this is bad for all of us.
It doesn't matter. It's his job and his pension. The same pension that they broke Dennis's stones over having.
So, but what if there's a little conscience there that says this isn't good for the town? Because there was a part of him that was like, yeah, look, those services, they may not happen if we sell. And I thought, well, there's a little transparency you just leaked out right there. That kind of makes me feel like maybe you're not 100% on board with it. But you're also not going to say a whole lot because of pensions and all that stuff. But
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what. I feel like the sign that he has in the front yard isn't the sign that he has in his head. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of these people aren't. Now, and we've said this before. A lot of these people, when it comes to stuff, they're not Democrats or Republicans. They're the machine.
That's
That's all that the machine cares about. The machine cares about the machine.
Right. The machine, and his side is I need to keep my job. I need to keep my pension. Yeah. My 11 positions, wherever the hell it is in this town. Yeah. That's what I need to keep going. Screw all you guys. I'm the main character in my mind, and that's it. I don't care. Sorry, it's going to screw you.
Yeah. So the machine keeps the machine running, and it doesn't really care what party it uses to do it. So that's it. I mean, that's
I don't
is that all we got?
That. Yep. All right. Yeah, that's all we got.
All right, folks. That's it for us.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel here. You can check us out on Facebook at GT Observer. You can on YouTube at restoreglowtwip.com. Or no, Restore Glowtwip. Whatever. All right. Anyway, we are done. We're tired. We'll see you guys soon in a week or so.
See you, folks.
See you guys.